If we all get up on our feet to start with, we'll start as we usually do. So I'm going to be taking some deep breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're doing that, just scanning through your body from head to toe, just thinking about any areas that might be sore, any areas that might have any slight issues or tweaks, and just making a mental note of that. And if you do think it's a bit concerning, just let me know. Just taking a few more here. Okay, now we're going to work head to toe doing a bit of mobility work. So starting with the neck and shoulders, we're going to take the head, ear to shoulder, hold for a second or two, over to the other side, hold for a second or two, and back and forth. Just taking it as far as you can go comfortably. We've got some shoulder and a shoulder exercise today, so I want to make sure this area is nice and warm. So we'll just do one more to each side now. Good. Now taking the head, looking over one shoulder, roll the chin on the chest to look over the other shoulder, hold and back. So keeping the chin on your chest as you roll, getting a nice stretch on the neck. Good. Now we're going to start to roll the shoulders up and forward, up and forward. So bring the shoulders up to your ears and rolling forward. So as I mentioned, we've got a shoulder exercise today. For those who have attended before, we do a full body workout. So a mixture of upper body and lower body. So we'll sort of be going between lower body, lower body, upper body, and we'll finish with an extra exercise for the arms as well. So just one more. Okay, now we're going to roll the shoulders up and back. And as we come back, squeezing the shoulder blades together before going down. So just do three more. Good. Now we're going to do some arm circles. So going forward to begin with. So important to get, it's called synovial fluid flowing over the joints. Can help prevent any injuries, which is why we do a warm up before we go into our exercise. Okay, and now going backwards. So nice big circles, reaching all the way up and out. Okay, now taking the arms out to the side, back to the middle. Good. Now we're going to stand with our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to reach over, stretching as far as we can, going one way and then the other. Good. Now keeping our feet about shoulder width apart, we're just going to do some torso rotations. So keep the feet facing forward, all the movement coming from your trunk. Let's do a few more to each side. Good. Now just going to roll the hips, so out to the side, butt back, and keep going in one direction. Now back the other direction. Good. And lastly, to finish, We're going to stand with our feet just inside shoulder width, slight bend in the knee or the legs straight. We're going to be reaching down towards the toes, coming back up. So if you can't make it all the way towards your toes, that's fine. If you just reach your knees or mid shin, just important to feel a bit of a stretch on the hamstrings, which is the big muscle in the back of the leg, back of the upper thigh. Okay, now we're going to go into a bit of a cardio warm-up just to bring up our heart rate, bring up the breathing, bring up the body temperature. So it's going to be marching on the spot. So if you're at a gym, you might do this on a treadmill, might go for a walk on a treadmill on an incline, or do 5 minutes on an exercise bike, just to get warmed up properly before you go into your session. So we've done our mobility, a bit of mobility from head to toe. Now we're just bringing that body temperature up, bringing the core temperature up. We warm up, just for anyone who's new, we warm up for about 10 to 15 minutes before we go into the session. The main session lasts about 25 minutes. It'll be a mixture of cardio and strength training. I'll demonstrate each exercise to you so you can see what the form is for each one. We do each exercise twice, and in between we do a bit of cardio just like this. So keep it going, pumping the arms as you go. Bring the feet off the floor. Now, as you're doing that, I want you to throw some punches. So keep up the marching, throwing the punches out. So find a rhythm, get in the groove. It should be feeling a bit warmer now. Then just back to marching. So it should be warmer, breathing rate should be a bit higher now, but hopefully you can still breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. So we don't want to overexert on the warm-up. We just want to do enough to get our body ready for the exercise we're about to do. Let's see if we can speed it up now a little bit. Okay, and rest there, grab some water if needed, and then come back on screen for me. Okay, I'll just wait for everyone to come back on screen.
Sean, it says recording. Is that something I done?
No, I've done that. Sorry, I'll just put you on mute, Jules, so it doesn't record you. Okay, so we're going to start off with the body weight squat. So I'll show you the form for this. Going to be standing feet just outside shoulder width, our toes slightly pointed out at an angle. You're going to sit in between the legs, sit down in between, push back up. So I want you to control on the way down, power on the way up. Control on the way down, power on the way up. We're going to do this for 45 seconds. So get into position for me. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we're halfway through. So controlled on the way down, power on the way up. Last 5 seconds now. Okay, now we're going to go into boxing. 1 minute. So that's the body weight squat. It's a great lower body exercise, works the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, even the calf muscles. So a lot of bang for the buck with that one. Let's go 1 minute total. Just find a rhythm that works for you and keep it going. 20 seconds to go. Then we're going to go back into the squats. Okay. So this time, and this is optional, we can use a weight to increase the difficulty of the squat. Let me just show you how that works. So this is called a goblet squat. So we're holding this like a little goblet. Going to go down controlled, power on the way up. Control on the way down, power on the way up. So totally optional. If you just want to do body weight, that's fine. Up to you. Let's get into position and go in 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Last 10 seconds now. Okay, set the weight aside if you're using one, and we're going to go into boxing. So that was the body weight squat or the goblet squat. Great lower body exercise to add to your routines. We do that one most weeks. Just keep it going. Find a rhythm that works. Last 20 seconds now. Last 15. Okay, and rest there. Feel free to grab some water, then come back on screen for me. Okay, for the next one, we're going to need 2 dumbbells, 2 bottles of water, 2 cans of food. We're going to do a back exercise called the bent over row. So going to be standing nice and tall to begin, slight bend in the knees, and we're going to bend at the hips. We're going to let the weights dangle, but under control. Then we're going to pull them into the abdomen and reverse. So power into the abdomen, controlled on the reverse. So when you're ready, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So power up to the abdomen, control on the way down. We're stronger in the lowering portion, so let's make use of that and control it as we lower the weight. 15 to go. Last 5. Okay, set the weight aside and we're going to go into marching. As I said, that's the bent over row. That's one for our back and biceps. So easiest way to think about this is any exercise where we're pulling in horizontally or vertically towards the body is going to work the biceps as well as the target muscle, which in this case is the muscles in the back. Last 20 seconds now. Last 10. I'm going to go back into the bent over row. Okay, let's get into position now. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So again, power into the abdomen, control on the way down. You can even retract the shoulder blades a little bit at the top, get an extra contraction. We've got 15 to go. Last 5. Okay, set the weight aside and we'll go back into marching. That's exercise you can easily do at home with dumbbells, with the resistance bands as well, it works. There are lots of variations of the row, but I'd say this is probably one of the more common ones to do, and it is very effective as well. So find a pace that works for you now. We've got 25 seconds to go. Then we're going to go back to the lower body. Okay, rest there, take some water if needed. Okay, we're going to go back to the lower body. So we're going to do a Romanian deadlift, or some people call it stiff-legged deadlift. They're sort of one and the same exercise. We're going to start with our feet about shoulder width apart. Going to be standing nice and tall with the dumbbells palms facing towards the body. We're going to lower the dumbbells against our legs, keeping our legs locked in place. Then we're going to come up. So you should feel a stretch on the hamstrings, the big muscle in the back of the thigh, then come up. So stretch nice and slow on the way down, powerful on the way up. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So nice and controlled on the way down. Really feel that stretch. If you can only get to your knees, that's fine. If you can get to your shins, that's great as well. But you should feel that stretch in the hamstrings. So keep it going, we've got 15 seconds to go. Let's get a few more done. Nice and controlled on the way down. Okay, set the weights aside carefully. And we're going to go into boxing. So that one, the stiff-legged deadlift or Romanian deadlift, is one for the lower body again, mainly targeting the glutes, the lower back, and the hamstrings. So a good one to throw in if you're looking to improve strength or muscle in those areas. So I've got 30 seconds to go now. So find a good pace, keep up the same pace. Last 10 seconds now. Then we're going to go back to the Romanian deadlift. Okay, so back into position now. Grab your dumbbells or bottles of water or cans of food. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So one way to think of it, as I do with my private clients, is to get lower, to lower the weights. Think about pushing a door open with your butt. So slowly push the door open, lower the weight, then explosive on the way up. So push the door open, lower, power on the way up. Got 10 seconds to go. Okay, and set the weight aside. I'm going to go straight back into boxing. So I've got a question come in, if you just keep going for me. Sorry, Janet, I've just seen that now. Remind me next time and I'll give you an alternative. So keep it going. And at any point, if you do need an alternative, just type in the box at the bottom. I'll try and get to it as soon as possible and give you a regression for the exercise or give you a completely different exercise to do. So last 10 seconds now. Okay, so rest there, take some water if needed. So going back to the upper body for this one, we're going to do our shoulder exercise for the day. It's going to be the shoulder press. So we're going to start 2 dumbbells, 2 cans of food, 2 bottles of water. Starting with the palms about shoulder height, we're going to push overhead, reverse slowly, and then go again with power. So reverse slowly, push with power. So get into position for me. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So standing nice and tall, head up, chest up, push with power, reverse with control. Power, control. Power, control. Really get the shoulders working. We're halfway through. Last 10. Okay, set the weight aside carefully. Then we're going to go into marching. So the shoulder press, there's variations you can do with that. You can do it with dumbbells, a barbell, you can do it with resistance bands, or if you're in the gym, they have specific machines for shoulder press. But if you want to, again, build strength in this area, improve mobility in that area, improve muscle size in that area, shoulder press will work really nicely. We're going to go for a minute. We're already halfway through. So again, just find that pace that works for you and lock it in. Last 10 seconds. Then we're going to go back to the shoulder press. Okay. So when you're ready, get back into position for me. And we're going to start shoulder press again in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Power on the way up, control on the way down. Got 10 seconds to go. Okay, set the weight aside carefully. Then we're going to go back into marching. So we've got one exercise to do now. We're going to keep it with the upper body, but we're going to focus on our arms. We're going to do a tricep movement. So triceps will get worked in the shoulder press. Sort of conversely to how I was saying with pulling motions, working the biceps, pushing motions horizontally or vertically are going to work the triceps as well as the target muscle. So last 15 now. Okay, rest there, take some water if needed. Then bring yourself back on screen. So we're going to finish with a tricep movement now. Triceps movement, I should say. So we're going to use one dumbbell. We're going to hold it in between the shoulder blades, arms bent. We're going to straighten the arm, reverse under control, straighten, reverse under control. And from the front, it looks like this. And my arms are bent. They straighten, extending the weight, and then slowly come back down. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So power on the way up, control on the way down. Chest up, head up. Last 10 seconds. Okay, carefully set the weight aside. And we're going to go into marching. So the triceps extension really just targets the triceps. Unlike some of the other exercises that we did, which target multiple muscle groups, this is an isolation exercise. So it just targets the triceps. So again, if you want to increase muscle tone, strength of the triceps, a good one to throw into your routine, or when you get the recording to practice along at home. 20 seconds to go. Last 5. Okay, rest there. We're going to go into our last set for the day, tricep extensions again. So when you're ready, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, off you go. Twenty seconds to go. Okay, set the weight aside, and we're going to go back into marching. That's our workout for the day. We did squats for the lower body, rows for the back. We did our Romanian or stiff-legged deadlift for the hamstrings and glutes, shoulder press for the shoulders and triceps, then finish with our tricep extensions. So 5 exercises, mixture of different muscle groups. So hopefully feeling good at the end of that. We'll just keep this going for a little while. And let's slow it down to just a walk. So taking the breathing under control, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then let's slow it down even further till we're barely moving. Then finally stopping with our feet about shoulder width apart. And just as we did at the beginning of the session, I want you to take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just again, having a scan through your body, what's feeling good, what's maybe feeling a little sore from the workout. Just being really conscious of our bodies now. It's important to check in on how you're feeling before a workout, after a workout, even on your rest days. So just take 2 or 3 more. Okay, and we'll just do a bit of a stretch to end. So we'll start with the triceps. So hand in the middle of the back, gentle pull with the other hand, just until you feel that stretch on the triceps. Again, then we'll change arms. Okay, and now we'll do one for the shoulders. So arm across the body, pulling with the other arm. We're holding each stretch for about 15 seconds, which is probably the lower range of what you want to do. You can go up to 30 seconds a minute, depending on what your goals are. If you're trying to increase flexibility, for example, you might go a little longer on the stretches, but 15 seconds is a good starting point. So we'll switch arms. Okay, and then rest there. We're going to stand feet about shoulder width. We're going to reach all the way over and hold. You can even gently pull with the other hand just to increase the stretch. Then coming up to standing, we'll go over to the other side. And again, you can increase the stretch with just a very gentle pull with the other hand. And coming to standing, we'll do our quad stretch. So standing on one leg, we'll pull the other leg up. You can hold on to something to increase your balance if needed. Okay, and then we're going to switch legs. Okay, and then release that. Then we're going to bring the legs together, inside shoulder width. We're going to reach down the front of the leg until we feel a stretch on our hamstrings, keeping the legs quite straight. And just hold when you feel that stretch on the hamstring. Don't want you to go too far and possibly tweak something, so just find that stretch and hold it. Okay, then coming to standing again. One last deep breath in. And we are done for the day.